made all that he did to prosper in his hands. Because of God's presence, he was promoted. And Joseph found grace, which is also favor, in his sight. And he served him. And he made him overseer over his house. In all that is his house, he put in his hand. But why did he have this kind of favor? You will see that in verse 9. And it came to pass, from that time, he was made overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake, and the blessings of the Lord was upon all that he had in his house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. So the master didn't even know his wealth. All he knew was food was there to eat. Joseph was in charge of everything. And he said Joseph was well favored. He was favored to the degree that he was promoted to be an overseer. But what was at the foundation? We will now see why he was so favored. Verse 8 and 9. Go to verse 7. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph and said, lie with me. This is where we discovered the secret of Joseph's favor and power. He said, but he refused. I wish God will raise a generation of people that can refuse. And you will see favor like never before. You will see divine presence. The problem we have is that we can't refuse. And in our generation, they don't even entice us. We are the one who draw them to us. In the name of seeking favor. Favor that does not come from God. He refused and said unto his master's wife, behold, my master wotted not what is with me in the house, and he had committed all that he had to my hands. He doesn't even know what he has. All that he has is in my care. I'm the one who tells him his worth. He said, therefore is none greater in this house than I, neither had he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? He was a pure man. The woman accused him in an undeniable fashion because he cut his shirt. It looked as if purity was a disadvantage. And the guy spent 2 years in prison. But what we saw eventually was that those 2 years took him where his lifetime outside purity would never have taken him. The Bible said until the time that his word came. He said the word of the Lord tried him. The king sent for to lose him. Even the ruler of the people. He made him lord of his house. He had gone beyond Potiphar. Where God took him to, even Potiphar couldn't approach. You are not losing by being pure. You stand your ground for God and see the testimonies your life will command. Purity attracts favor, and not just favor, favor that brings promotion. Daniel was promoted. Joseph was promoted. You will be promoted. Number 3, purity releases spiritual power and authority. You saw already 2 Timothy 2:21. If any man purges himself, not if an apostle, not if a prophet. It's not about an office. You can occupy an office. If you are not pure, you will face reproach. If a man therefore purges himself from these things, he shall be a vessel unto honor, sanctified, and meet for the master's use, prepared for every good works. Prepared for every good work. That's authority. I showed you already. Psalm 24 verse 3 to 5. Who shall stand in the mountains of God? Who shall stand upon his holy hills? Who is that person? It's not an apostle. It's not a prophet. It is him that is of a clean hands, of a pure heart, who has not lifted his soul in vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. You will wield power if you live pure. God is not a respecter of persons. You live pure, you will see power. And power is not just for preaching. The covering that your children requires is sponsored by power. The prosperity that your family needs is sponsored by power. The preservation that you require is sponsored by power. Not self-power, power of the Spirit. Because God is not doing business with your power. He's doing business with the power of the Holy Ghost. That's why he says it's not by power or by might. So it's not by what you have. It's by the Spirit. But the way you access Spirit power is by walking pure. Don't let any Satan deceive you. That if you fall, you ask for forgiveness, you'll be forgiven. Yes, you will, but you will remain a child. And the heir that remains a child is not different from a servant. Fight to live holy.